Welcome again to Ancient Tales for today. We're looking at a very, very interesting story. It's almost like a 连续剧. Okay, wow, it is a serial story. Now we have the showdown. Now you remember, Moses goes back, but instead of making things go better, he makes things go worse. The people are not happy. He is not happy. Nobody is happy. They think everything is unfair. But interesting things begin to happen. This is lesson number 47, Showdown. 对峙 Showdown. Stay by.
Number 47, Showdown. The king of Egypt forces a showdown with Moses and Aaron and the God they believe in. So Aaron throws his rod down before the king, and the rod turns into a snake. The Egyptian magicians do the same thing with their rods. They turn snakes too. But then Aaron's snake swallows up all the others to prove who is greater. But the king is not convinced, and the conflict increases. Following heaven's command, Moses and Aaron turn the river Nile and all water into blood. The king still refuses to let the Hebrews leave. Then there is a plague of frogs that get everywhere, even into the king's bedroom and onto his bed. Then they die and are heaped up into piles that stink. These are very significant actions. The ancient Egyptians worshipped the river Nile as a god. They also had a god frog and many other animal gods. Hard to worship a frog god if you're treading on them everywhere as they die and smell. More plagues come. Gnats, flies, and a disease that kills all the livestock of the Egyptians. Then all the Egyptians get boils. Next are hail and locusts. Then darkness covers the whole of Egypt for 3 days, except for where the Hebrews are living. None of the plagues affect them at all. The king begins to reconsider. He tells Moses he can leave the people out, but once each plague has finished, he changes his mind. The final showdown leaves every firstborn son in Egypt dead. After this tragedy, the king finally agrees. The Hebrews can leave, and the Egyptians give them everything so they can get rid of them. Please leave, and here's a gift to take with you, they say. Even the strongest nation on earth cannot fight heaven. The king of Egypt tried, and he lost so much. A lesson for everyone through all time.
Okay, now in 47, Showdown, the king of Egypt, 埃及王, forces a showdown with Moses and Aaron. Now, what does it mean to force a showdown? 强迫. I don't think that Moses and Aaron were planning on having a showdown. What is a showdown? 对峙. Okay, 对峙. Okay, this is a showdown. And it usually means, well, I remember as a child watching the movies about cowboys, and they used to say showdown at the OK Corral. That simply means that somewhere there was going to be a conflict. 他们对立, 对峙, okay? So the king forces That means that he forces Moses and Aaron, and of course, by forcing Moses and Aaron, you are also involving 也包括 Moses and Aaron's God, because they believed in God. 他们是信神，他们所信的神。So, Aaron throws his rod down before the king. He takes his shepherd's rod, and he throws it down. Okay? Now, the last time we saw, and here we see again, the rod turns to a snake. 就变成一个蛇。Now, notice what happens. The Egyptians, Egyptian magicians, I should say, the Egyptian magicians, 法术师，变魔术的法术师，这个是埃及人，这个是法老王的这个埃及王啊的法术师。The Egyptian magicians did the same thing. They had rods. They threw the rods down, and their rods turned to snakes too. And I can imagine the king of Egypt is very amused. He's just thinking, what do you know about that? Aaron throws his rod down, and it becomes a snake. Hey, my magicians throw their rods down and it becomes a snake. See, your God is not so strong. But Aaron's snake swallows up all the other snakes. Woo! 他的蛇就吞掉其他的法术师的这个蛇。So now there's only one snake left. And of course, I imagine Aaron reaches down and it becomes his rod. Again, 他的杖。Now, why do that? It proves who is greater. Okay? So it proves that their God is greater than the Egyptian gods because their God could swallow all the other snakes. But this king, he's a real problem. Sometimes he's, we say in English, 现代化, he's a basket case. That means that he is really a mess. He is not convinced. 他不满意啊，不受感动，不相信。And the conflict, 这个对立，越来越厉害。The conflict increases. Going on. Following heaven's command, of course, Moses and Aaron are listening to God. God tells them exactly what to do. Okay? So, following God's command, Moses and Aaron turned the river Nile and all the water into blood. Now remember, they live in a desert. 埃及大部分都是沙漠, okay? So what is important? In a desert, what's the most important thing? Water. So Moses and Aaron 就是这个尼罗河还有那个埃及所有的水变成 blood. 血 the king 血 So the king still refuses to let the Hebrews leave. He is very stubborn, 非常顽固。他还是不太愿意让他离开。The king 还是拒绝让希伯来人走。Then there is the plague of frogs， 有青蛙的灾难 or 蛙灾 ，okay? And that means these frogs get everywhere. Lots of frogs. Frogs everywhere. Even in the king's bedroom, 睡房，王的睡房还是有青蛙。And onto his bed, 他的床上。And they die, okay? And they die, and then 被堆起来 into piles, 一堆，很多堆 okay? And these piles of dead frogs stink, 有这个恶臭，这个臭味很厉害。These are very significant actions. 非常非常重要 significant 重要 important 行动 actions 行动 because the ancient Egyptians 那些古代的埃及人 worshipped the Nile as a god 他们是拜那个尼罗河作为他们的一个神 They also had a frog god 他们也有一个神是一个青蛙 and many other animal gods 很多动物的神 So what's going to happen? We'll tell the rest of the story, but first, some light on our path. Okay, Lena, we have some light on the path, our path, and we're going to look at Exodus 10, 16, and 17.
好，在出埃及记的10章第16节、17节。
Okay, now this is very, very interesting because it says here, Then Pharaoh called for Moses and Aaron in haste and said, I have sinned against the Lord your God and against you. Now therefore, please forgive my sin, only this once, and I entreat the Lord your God that he may take away from me all this death.
哇，你这个很像这个法老王当时的情形。朋友们，这个经节是这样说的。于是法老急忙招了摩西、亚伦来说：“我得罪耶和华你们的上帝，又得罪了你们。现在求你只这一次饶恕我的罪，求耶和华你们的上帝使我脱离这一次的死亡。”
Okay, now the interesting thing here is how many times did he said 我后悔 How many? Many, many, many times. Why do people say 我后悔 I'm sorry
我要悔改了，我要变好人了。
Okay, 饶恕我了 But then in the end, what happens?
他们在没有威胁的时候又变回来自己的样子了。
Yeah. See, now, this is the problem. So, in a pressure, under pressure, 在这个
压力之下。
压力之下 then people say, no, help me, get me out of here. But when they get past the 危机
对，
那然后他们就说，哎呀，我后悔。And then the problem started. This happened many, many times. I guess that's all the time we have for Light on Our Path. Listen, it's pretty hard to worship a frog god if you're treading on them. Do you know what treading means? If you're walking on them. I mean, hey, there are frogs everywhere. So, if there are frogs everywhere, you end up walking on them, and this is your God. Your God? Wow. It's hard to worship something that becomes, well, even smelly because you're walking on them, treading on them everywhere. As they die, the frogs die, and they smell 有很多这个臭味，恶臭. It's just very smelly. And there are more plagues to come. Okay? Gnats. These are little tiny flies. 有小小的苍蝇. Okay? And flies, 苍蝇. And disease. 这个疾病 kills all the livestock. Okay? So these diseases. 这个疾病. What is livestock? Remember some lessons ago we talked about livestock. What are livestock? Livestock is animals. Livestock usually is animals that you especially take care of. These animals like sheep, 羊, 牛, 马, cows, horses. This is livestock. So sickness comes, and the livestock, they're animals, 动物, they die. And the Egyptians get boils. You know what a boil is? 疮. You know what? In my lifetime, I only had one boil. And that boil was right here. It was right on my arm. And 疮. And it was so painful. Oh, I could hardly move my arm. It was just terrible. And the Egyptians, 埃及人, 他们的全身都有这么痛苦, boils. And then there is hail, 冰雹. Now, these little pieces of ice that falls from heaven. Okay. And then locusts is another. Locusts, these are the things like grasshoppers that jump. And all of these things, terrible, what do we call that? 灾难. These are plagues. These are so terrible. And every time the king says, oh, yeah, go, sure, go, leave. And the minute Moses and Aaron ask God to stop doing these things, when that happens, then the king of Egypt says, oh, well, sorry, I changed my mind. No, you can't. See, remember they're asking that the people can leave Egypt and go out into the desert, 到沙漠去. So you see what happens. Every time he changes his mind. Now, then darkness covers all of Egypt. So all of Egypt becomes dark. 黑暗. 非常黑. For 3 days, can't see anything. Daytime, nighttime, everything is dark. But 希伯来人住的地方没有黑暗. See what's happening? These are miracles. 这个是奇迹，这个是神迹啊. Going on. None of the plagues affect them. None of the plagues 影响这些希伯来人。Now, to me, I would think, this is happening to us, not happening to them. But the king does not change his mind. The king begins to reconsider. But finally he says, okay, I changed my mind. But he tells Moses he can lead the people out. But like I said, every time the plague finishes, but once each plague is finished, he changes his mind. Well, I changed my mind. No, you can't go. Yes, you can go. No, you can't go. And every time he says that, Moses and God stops the plague. 就停止这个灾难。The final showdown, 最后一个对峙 showdown, leaves the firstborn son of Egypt dead. So every firstborn son, what is the first? The first son, 头一个儿子. Okay? Not only just people, but animals. Now, this is a terrible, terrible plague. And after this tragedy, after this terrible situation has occurred, the king finally, 终于同意, yes, get out of here, go. I don't want to see you anymore. Going on. The Hebrews can leave, and the Egyptians give them everything so they can get rid of them. Okay? Get rid of the 赶他们走, so they give him many things. Okay, please leave and take this gift. Here's a gift. They give him a lot of things. You take this with you, they say. Even the strongest nation on earth, 全球最强的国家 cannot fight heaven. 没办法这个赢这个天庭. The king of Egypt tried and he lost so much. And this is a lesson for everyone through all time. When God says something, it is not a wise thing to fight him. The most powerful man in the world failed. Now, before we finish, you need to come back and see some words you need to know. Okay, let's take a look at some words you need to know. To begin with, we're going to look at showdown.
艾老师，这个字很有意思 ，showdown。我去查啊查，有的人说是对峙，有的人说是对决。我想可能是对决比较恰当，就是法老王把摩西和亚伦叫来我们要做一次对决，看你赢还是我赢，是不是这个意思？
Yes, that's exactly the correct idea. It usually is a very 非常紧张的一件事情非常紧张的。Okay, another word that we have is magicians.
魔术师
Can you say magicians?
magicians
Good. Whoa, sounds like an American.
真的
Okay, 这个法术师magicians, they perform magic.
对他们变法术可以
Okay. Another one is a plague. What is a plague?
灾难
灾难. Okay, a plague. And of course, there were many plagues in Egypt, you know,
Yeah.
many of these plagues. Another one is significant actions.
行动
Okay, 行动 is actions. What kind of actions? In some cases, you say or 行为 or 行动. You can say
特备的行动是吧？
right.
嗯
In this case, it's significant actions. And then the last one is reconsider.
，consider 是考虑，
Yes, so reconsider?
重复的考虑。
Yeah, 再来考虑. Oops, we've run out of time. That's all the time we have for words you need to know. Okay, we've been talking about a showdown in Egypt. Showdown, okay, 对峙 between Moses and Aaron and the God of Moses and Aaron, and the most powerful king of the whole world finally says, I've had enough. Well, even his firstborn son, his son dies. He said, this is too much. You have got to leave. It's time to go. And that's what we're going to talk about next time. Lesson 48, next time is 48, a time to go. Stay with us then and join us when we see what next happens.
That's all for today, and thanks for watching. If you like Ancient Tales for Today, please visit atft.chinesehope.tv. You may also contact us by writing to ancienttalesfortoday@gmail.com. Again, that's ancienttalesfortoday@gmail.com. Tell your friends about Ancient Tales for Today. See you next time.